historic Larks Park and the 75th anniversary season of Hayes Larks Baseball. Tonight's non-league contest is the middle game of a three-game series that features the Northern Colorado Roughnecks from the Mile High Collegiate Baseball League and your Hayes Larks. The Roughnecks enter tonight's contest at 0-1 on the season, while the Larks are 1-0. Pre-admission to tonight's game has been made possible through the generous sponsorship of Hayes Medical Center. We greatly appreciate these fine people and their support of Hayes Larks Baseball.
Well, you couldn't tell now. He was a great boy.
And now let's meet tonight's starters for your Hayes Larks.
Yeah, baby.
Playing second base from the University of Sioux Falls, number 2, batting second, playing third base from Cochise Community College, number 17, Cam Pearson. Batting third, the designated hitter from the University of Texas at Arlington, number 16, Wyatt Gibbs. Batting fourth, playing first base from UT Arlington, number 15, Sam Kroll. Batting fifth, a center fielder from East Tennessee State, number 8, Leo Jimian. Batting sixth, playing left field from University of Texas at Arlington, number 12, Zach Henry. Batting seventh for the Larks, tonight's 8th Street Liquor Beverage batter, the catcher from Murray State, number 7, Brady Evans. Batting eighth, playing shortstop from the University of Nebraska, number 5, Connor Palmer. Batting ninth for the Larks, playing right field from Hayes, number 33, Dylan Driley. And tonight making a pitching start for the Larks from Cochise Community College, number 26, Jose Velasquez. And in his 39th season with the Larks, please welcome the head coach, Mr. Frank Leo. Center, please welcome Hayden and Chase Hilgers. Chase tossed the strike. Let's see what Hayden can do. All right, how about a round of applause for these two youngsters? Our thanks to Hayes Medical Center for sponsoring tonight's game. Hayes Med, the only hospital in western Kansas to offer Da Vinci robotic surgery. Robotic surgery is performed with smaller incisions that can result in less pain and shorter hospital stays for most patients. The quicker recovery time gets you back to your life faster without the longer recovery times required by conventional surgery. Surgeons perform general, prostate, urologic.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to game number 2 of the 2021 Hayes Larks season. We're live from Larks Park for this 75th anniversary season. This is Carson Ackerman on the call. You're tuned in to Larks Network. This is a matchup between the 1-2 Northern Colorado Roughnecks and your 1-0 Hayes Larks. On the mound for Hayes is a righty, Jose Velasquez, out of Cochise College. First pitch he delivers is to Vince LeConte, and it's a called strike one. Velasquez, a 6'3 freshman from Phoenix, Arizona, and scoreboard reads 0-2 quick on the left fielder. But Conte from Lamar Junior College, two JUCO guys facing off right now. Velasquez will go from the windup, deliver home, off speed, chopped over towards Lung, who will get called off by Corral and tosses it to Velasquez, covering first base, a 3-1 ground out. So now to Brandon Aragon out of Barstow Junior College. Velasquez led the Cochise College Apaches this 2021 season in his freshman year with 26 appearances. Picked up a 7-3 record with a 3.38 ERA. He goes from the windup, delivers one that's chopped right back to him, getting contact and chops early, and delivers to Sam Corral for a quick one pitch for out number 2. Go to the 3-hole AJ Cortez, his first look at the righty. Velasquez had the least earned runs on Cochise among pitchers with an average of 1 inning pitched per game, and those were 22 earned runs. And he hits the batter. Now we'll go to Zane Covey after the hit by pitch. Swings above this one. The Larks line up with Cam Harrison, the teammate of Velasquez, at Cochise at third base, Taylor Palmer at shortstop, Grant Lung at second base, Sam Crowell at first base, and that rounds out the infield with Brady Evans behind the dish. In the outfield, we got Zach Henry in left field, Leo Jimeon in center, and Dylan Dreiling in right. No balls and 2 strikes with 2 away and a runner on first for Zane Covey. His delivery is outside 1-2. One and two becomes 2-2 as Velasquez misses the zone. Due up for the Larks in the bottom of the first will be Grant Lone, Cam Harrison, and Wyatt Divis. Two and two of this delivery inside and low of a full count. On deck for the Roughnecks is Nash Phillips with Jacob Bannister in the hole. Velasquez gets his sign from Brady Evans, nods on it, and will go from the stretch. The payoff pitch, swung on and hit towards left field. Zach Henry moves towards it, and it's going to drop in foul territory before he can get to it. So Cortez will return to first base. Velasquez gets set for his second payoff delivery, and the pitch is swung on and grounded toward the left of Crowell into foul territory. Velasquez takes a deep breath, deliver, runners take off, and it is back-to-back runners put on base. So but Cortez at second after his hit by pitch, and Covey at first on a 7-pitch walk. Two on with 2 out. Velasquez delivers and misses the zone 1-0. We're back after that technical difficulty. Got the camera fixed now. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Nash Phillips, the center fielder for the Roughnecks. Nash is from Northwestern Oklahoma State University. Velasquez threw 58 2/3 innings at Cochise, picked up 3 saves. All 26 of his appearances were in relief. And for his first game with the Larks, it's a start. Runner takes off to second. That is Covey, but at second base, Cortez wasn't ready to go, and he's going to be caught in a pickle. And just like that, after a mental error from Covey, not looking at his teammate Cortez, the Larks get out of a jam, and Velasquez sends us to the bottom half of the first with the Roughnecks scoreless on Larks Network. Bottom of the first we go here on Larks Network. Leading off is Grant Lung, his first look of the season against John Thorin, a southpaw. Grant swings at his first pitch and takes it backwards and out of play. Thorin on the mound for the Roughnecks out of Otero Junior College is a 6'5" freshman. Made 13 appearances, picked up 11 starts, and went 1-8 through 40 innings. Grant's out of the University of Sioux Falls, and he's from Peoria, Arizona. Stands at 6 foot. The redshirt junior batted .290 in his last season at USF. Second delivery to him, a slider outside, 1-1. The 1-1 to Grant. He takes to the opposite field, but out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Grant in last night's game went 2 for 5 with 1 run driven in and scored 1 as well. Had 2 total bases. 1-2. Thorne will go from the windup. Fastball low and outside. 2-2. Grant's career at Sioux Falls has played in 148 games and has 137 hits. Looking to pick up his 3rd hit of the 2021 season for the Larks right here. This delivery again to the right-hander's batter's box. Grant has a full count. Last year with the Larks, Grant had the least strikeouts on the team among players with over 100 plate appearances. Only struck out 10 times. Stole 6 bases and picked up 26 hits in the same amount of games. The payoff pitch to Long, he swings that slowly and sends a dribbler to Vite, who can't pick up it, and it's going to be an E6, and Grant Long is aboard for the 3rd time this season. So now we'll go to Cam Pearson with a runner on first and nobody out. Cam batting in the 2-hole tonight after starting at that same spot yesterday. Started at first base yesterday. Today is playing in the hot corner. The Larks line up with Grant Lung leading it off, obviously followed by Pearson. Davis is on deck, and Sam Crowell is tonight's cleanup hitter. Leo Jimeon batting 5th with Zach Henry in the 6th spot. Brady Evans, Tyler Palmer, Dylan Dryling go 7, 8, and 9. Off speed to Cam, in the zone for a call strike, 1-1. Lung does have a little bit of speed. As I mentioned, stole 6 bases last season with the Larks. And in 2019, in the Summer League, in the KCLB with the Mud Daubers, he stole 7 bases. Has a big lead at first, trying to tempt the southpaw Thorin, who goes home to Cam and gets him to swing above a changeup, 1-2. Thorne takes his time, takes a deep breath, gets set, and will deliver home to Connolly and Pearson. Cam reaches for one below the knees and sends it deep to center field. Is going to drop past Phillips. Roll to the wall. Frank Leo is going to send Grant Lung home from third base. Cam Pearson loses his helmet and goes all the way to third base. It's a no-out triple, and the ball goes past third base, and Cam is going to score and pick up 2 RBIs on one swing of the bat. It won't be an inside the park home run. It's a triple in air, but it's still, nonetheless, he's excited, and the Larks take a 2-0 lead quick off of 2 quick errors from the Rough Riders.
From the University of Texas at Arlington, the designated hitter, number 16, Wyatt Davis.
For Cam, that is RBI number 3 on the season, and Grant Lung just scored his 2nd run of the young season. Davis gets set in the left-hander's batter's box, takes a fastball inside 1-0. One and 0 to Davis from Thorne, who'll go from the windup. This delivery in the zone for a called strike. Davis picked up the start yesterday, threw 3 innings and struck out 5 guys, didn't allow a single hit. The Larks took a no-hitter into the 9th inning. Luke Terabee got the first out of the 9th and then allowed back-to-back hits. Still, nonetheless, it was a great performance from all 3 pitchers, Wyatt Davis, Jackson Blue, and then Luke Terabee. But the Larks just dominated through the mound, striking out a total of 12 batters and only walking 4. 1-2 to Davis. Davis takes this one out of play and will stay alive. Davis fouls this one off and will stay alive. Larks won 10-1 yesterday in their first game of the 75th anniversary season. For the Roughnecks, it was their 3rd. They split a series against Fort Collins and then came to Hayes and picked up their 2nd loss of the year. And Davis is going to strike out on 6 pitches. So now we'll go to Sam Crow. Crow had a great game yesterday. Made 3 plate appearances, walked on 1, had a 1 RBI double, and in his first at-bat as a Lark, hit a 3-run shot to left field. And it was just a heck of a start for the season. Didn't finish the game. Brock Loomis came in and took over the catching duties from him about halfway through the ball game. But Growl just had a great day, and he'll look to continue that momentum into today. Count reads 1-0 to him with 1 away. This one at the feet of Sam. On deck for the Larks, Leo Jimeon with Zach Henry in the hole. 3 straight balls to Sam Corral. Gets a sign from Frank Leo. Expect to see him take. Of course, Leo does like to give green lights during Summer League. Nobody swung 3-0 yesterday, and Crown won't even need to swing at this one as it misses outside a 4-pitch walk, and the Larks get their 3rd base runner of the ballgame. 2nd walk of the day for John Thorin. Excuse me, first walk of the day. So now to Leo Jimeon, his second year with the Larks. Came out of Clarendon College and has signed with Eastern Tennessee State University. From St. Lo, France, awaits the pitch from the southpaw. And that is 5 straight balls from Thorin. Grant Lung started this inning out, hitting one slowly to Vite, who just couldn't get a handle on it. Lung reached on air, and then Cam Pearson tripled, brought Lung home, and then on an overthrow, Cam came around to score. 6 straight balls from John Thorne, and it's a 2-0 count to Leo Jimeon. Beautiful night for baseball, and it shows in the attendance. Just a slight breeze moving out towards left field. And the first strike in 7 pitches is swung on and foul-tipped into Connolly's glove. Roughnecks line up with LeConte, Phillips, and Bannister in the outfield moving left to right. Cortez in the hot corner, Vite at shortstop, Aragon at second, Marthaler at first base, and Sean Connolly behind the dish. Thorne throws below the knees, at the knees, according to the home plate umpire, 2-2. Thorne gets set. Connolly gives him the sign. Takes a long look at Crowell. Another look and decides to go home. And we'll get his second strikeout of the ball game as Jimeon took a hard cut at that one and couldn't make contact.
From UT Arlington, the left fielder, number 12, Zach Henry.
So now to Zach Henry. His first at bat with the Larks came into courtesy run for Sam Crowell a couple times yesterday during the game, but this will be his first at bat and his first start with the Larks. First delivered to him in the zone, 0-1. Two-way runner on first in the bottom of the first. Henry hits from the left-hander's batter's box and sends this one up the middle. Vite will roam to his left and tag the base just before Sam Crowell can get there. And that will be the first inning. Larks do pick up 2 runs off of John Thorne and lead 2-0 as we head to the second inning on Larks Network. Back to the mound for inning number 2. Nash Phillips came up to bat in the first inning, and then there was a base running out for the third out of the inning, and it sent him back to the dugout. So we'll get his second technical look at Velasquez right here. First delivery to him, a nice breaking ball that can't bait. Phillips into swinging at it. Phillips in yesterday's ball game, 0 for 2 with a walk and 2 strikeouts. This ball hit to shallow right field. Crowell and Dreiling and Long chase for it, and Long ends up calling off everybody and records the out in foul territory. So we'll move to Jacob Bannister, the 6-hole right fielder. His first look at Velasquez. Velasquez walked 34 guys at Cochise, but struck out 57. 2 straight pop-ups, and moving again to get it is Grant Long, calling off Jimmy-On, Dreiling, and Palmer. So quick 2 outs for Velasquez, who's cruising in the second. Has gotten some guys to make contact, but he hasn't gotten a single guy to make good contact, which is what you want on the mound. He was to continue his groove against Nolan Marthaler. This one misses 1-0. Vasquez still looking for his first strikeout as a Lark. Had a strikeout per 9 inning rate at Cochise of 8.74. Gets a ground ball over to the right side, and it'll roll into foul territory. Marthaler did not play in yesterday's ball game for the Roughnecks. Due for the Larks in the bottom of the second will be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters, Brady Evans, Tyler Palmer, and Dylan Dreiling, as Marthaler, the first baseman, digs back into the box and awaits his 1-1 delivery. This one had some velocity on it, but missed the zone, 2-1. And we'll have a hitter's count as this one misses low and inside. Brady Evans tried to frame it and didn't get the call from the umpire. 2 outs, nobody on here in the top of the second from Larks Park. And a full count awaits us as this one's fouled to the backstop. We get a payoff pitch from Velasquez, and this one is hit to the left field side, and Cam Pearson, playing third base for the first time this year, can't get a hold of it. But it won't matter because it was in foul territory. So Marthaler will get back in the box for his second payoff pitch from Velasquez, trying to punch him out. Velasquez goes from the windup and will catch Marthaler right on the hip, his second hit batter. It hit Cortez, who was the last out in the first inning when he got caught in a pickle. So we'll move to Sean Connolly, the catcher for the the Roughnecks. Larks will play the Rough Riders here in a few games. The first team we will face against in July. First pitch to Connolly in the zone for a called strike. This is game 2 of a 3-game series against the Roughnecks. Then the Larks will have 4 games off and go to Colorado. Check over at Marthaler at first. He's not going anywhere. Connolly didn't pick up any plate appearances or playing time in yesterday's ball game. Second pitch to him, he's under and behind, 0-2. Velasquez could waste this pitch since he was ahead in the count and throws a heater above the letters, 1-2. It's set back on the rubber. Brady Evans, the catcher from Murray State Community College, gives him the signs. And Velasquez goes from the stretch. This one off the plate, but Evans shows off his glove and gets down and blocks this one. 2-2 with 2 away in the second with the runner on first. This delivery to him, swung on and missed, and it'll be the first strikeout of the season for Jose Velasquez. And it sends the Roughnecks back to the dugout scoreless for the second inning. And we go to the bottom of the second on Larks Network. Brady Evans will lead off the bottom of the second for the Larks. He's tonight's Beverage batter. And he gets his first plate appearance as a Lark. First delivery to him, outside 1-0. If you're new to Larks baseball, Beverage batters, the fan favorite. If he gets a hit, everybody at the park gets half-price beverages for the remainder of the half inning. Brady out of Murray State College, played for the Aggies. He's from Wright City, Oklahoma. The 5'8" freshman is up in the count, 2-0. This last year at Murray State, Brady batted .294 through 47 games, picked up 19 RBIs, and had 45 hits. 2-0 to him, and he hits a nice line drive past the diamond glove of Cortez. He rounds first, heads to second, and the throw is not going to be in time.
Reduced price on all drinks the remainder of this half, and thanks to 8th Street Liquor and tonight's beverage batter, Brady Evans.
And the fans, like a flood, make their way down to the concession stand in Larks Nest to get their half-price beverages thanks to Brady Evans. And normally we get a courtesy runner, but it looks like Brady Evans will stay out there. That's his first hit as a Lark. It's an extra base hit. He had 14 extra base hits for the Aggies this last spring. And that is the second hit of the ball game. Larks have a triple and now a double, thanks to two JUCO players, one from Arizona, one from Oklahoma. So now we go to Tyler Palmer out of the University of Nebraska. So great debut for Evans so far, has shown off what he can do defensively and shows off his bat offensively. 1-0 to Tyler Palmer. Tyler in yesterday's game stole 2 bases, walked once, got 1 hit, and scored 2 runs. One 0 misses inside. 2-0. This is the 8th batter Thorne has faced. Has struck out 2, walked 1, and allowed 2 hits. Evans not doing a whole lot of moving at second base, but still Aragon trying to tap his glove and get him to do something. But he isn't fazed by it, and Thorne delivers home and gets one in the zone. 2-1 to Tyler Palmer, tonight's shortstop, after starting in right field yesterday and made 2 beautiful sliding catches. And called strike on Tyler Palmer. Two balls and 2 strikes with nobody out in the bottom of the second, with Brady Evans at second. Thorne looks in hard at Connolly. Finally gets his sign. And Palmer sends this one to the hot corner. Curtiz fields it and throws to Marthaler. A 5-3 ground out for Tyler Palmer. Brady Evans not able to advance.
From Hayes, the right fielder, number 33, Dylan Dryling.
So we'll go to Hayes, Kansas native Dylan Dryling, who's committed to the University of Tennessee. We'll have 2 Tennessee players joining the Larks later in the season. They're still playing right now for the Volunteers, trying to win the College World Series. Dylan made a few appearances for the Larks last year in the Denver Road Series and is picking up some playing time before club time this summer. First delivery to him, a slider outside, 1-0. Dylan was the star of the Hayes High baseball team this season that finished 3rd in the 5A state championship. Committed to Tennessee all the way back in 8th grade and has stuck with it. 2-0. His grandfather is head coach Frank Leo, who got to coach him for 1 year at Hayes High. That was Dylan's freshman season. Dylan last year with the Larks picked up 12 hits, batted .324, and had 9 runs driven in. Sends this one past the outreached arm of Thorin. Moving to it is Vite, who throws out Dryling, but it does advance Evans to third base.
Top of the batting order for the Larks, the second baseman, number 2, Grant Long.
So the Larks have officially batted around through 1 2/3 innings. Go to Grant Lung, who reached on an error from Vite to get the bottom of the first started, and then came around to score off of Cam Harrison's triple. He reaches for this one just like he did in the first, sends it to Vite, who is going to throw him out by just a step, a close play at first base. And the Larks don't get any runs in the second, but still lead 2-0 after bringing 4 guys to the plate. We'll be right back on Larks Network. Larks Park, leading off is Nico Vite, the shortstop. His first look at Jose Velasquez. Vite out at Garden City Community College. And yesterday's ball game, Vite also batted the 9th spot, went 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Larks got him with the hat trick. 0-1, he watches the first pitch in the zone. This is the 9th batter Velasquez has faced. He's hit 2, walked 1, but gotten 6 outs without allowing a hit. 0-2. Well, this will probably be one of the last innings for Velasquez, who gets a 3-pitch punch-out off of Vite to start the inning. His first strikeout as a Lark. Yesterday we saw 3 pitchers each throw 3 innings, and we expect to see the same today. We're expecting Trey Riggs to come in relief and then be followed by Cade Brown. Velasquez will go from the windup, and this one misses inside to Vince LeConte, who's got the game going in the first with a ground out to Sam Crowell. One and 0. Two balls and no strikes to Vince LeConte, the left fielder out of Lamar Junior College. He sends this one to right field. Moving in is Dylan Dreiling and stops on a dime and makes the catch for out number 2. Velasquez isn't wasting time, not throwing a ton of pitches and getting some quick outs. Exactly what you want out of your pitcher. So now to Brandon Aragon, who grounded out to Velasquez for out number 2 back in the first. Chops this one foul. And he will hit his 3rd batter of the game. He's making them earn them when they get their first. Other than that, Velasquez has been on his A game. Runner on first with 2 away here in the top of the 3rd. Larks up 2-0 against the Northern Colorado Roughnecks. AJ Cortez to the box. He was the first batter Velasquez hit in the first inning, got to 2nd, and then was tagged out to end the inning on a pickle. Slider from Velasquez, swung on and missed. Great pitch to bounce back after hitting a batter. And we do have movement, a little bit of stretching going on in the Larks bullpen. So we'll at least see Velasquez for at least one more inning following this one. This one's hit to left field. Zach Henry has to move in and will die for it, and they will say he made the catch. Head coach from the Roughnecks, Randy Click, is going to argue that it hit the ground, I think. No, regardless if he does or not, it was a great catch by Zach Henry, and it sends us to the bottom of the 3rd. Larks still up 2-0 thanks to the flashing gloves of the left fielder from UTA. off the bottom of the third inning for the Larks will be the third baseman, Cam Pearson. First delivery to him, he sends to Frank Leo and into foul territory. And now Trey Riggs is warming up for the Larks in the bullpen. Thorne still on the mound, delivers this one into the zone. 2 strikes on Pearson. Cam 1 for 1 today with a triple, a run driven in, and then also came around to score. Oh, and 2, and he stays alive, fouling this one off the tip of his bat. Cam yesterday 3 for 5, drove in 2 runs and scored just as many. Had a great ball game. All 3 of his hits were singles. We'll get a second 0-2 pitch to Pearson outside, 1-2. On deck for the Larks is Wyatt Divis with Sam Crowell in the hole. Thorne gets set and gets Cam to reach out that one. Just fooled him a little bit with that pitch and baited him to swinging that one outside the zone. And Cam, who's a very good hitter, just couldn't get a hold of that one. So now we'll go to Wyatt Divis, who's 0 for 1 the day and struck out looking for the first out at the bottom of the first. Third strikeout of the day for John Thorne. And Divis waits on an off speed and lets it get into the zone for a called strike 1. Thorne from the windup. Divis throws right-handed, hits left-handed, and gets a called strike 2 on him. Divis in the batter's box last year with the Larks led the team in walks with 31 and scored 30 runs. Batted .336 with 36 hits. The 0-2 to Divis. One popped up into center field. Phillips moves towards it to his right and makes the catch after moving about 20 yards.
The first baseman, number 15, Sam Cole.
So down to Sam Crowell, who walked in the first and then was stranded there after a strikeout and a ground out. That walk from Thorne was the only one he's allowed today, and Crowell just a millisecond too early and sends it down the left field line and foul. 0-1 with 2 away, bases empty to the cleanup hitter. Crowell yesterday batted 5th, and just like that, after one great performance, gets bumped up to the prime spot. This one, a wild pitch from Thorne, way outside and high, and it hits all the way to the backstop. One ball and 1 strike to the first baseman. Crown out of Heath, Texas. Was in high school a Texas Sports Writers Association 6A All-State second team. In his last year of high school baseball, batted .400 and had an OBP of .477. 2-1 to Crowell. Sends this one over the grandstand and into the parking lot. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Larks had a great crowd yesterday, and today not quite as packed. Yesterday there was it was an estimated about 1,500 to 2,000 fans here in Hays, Kansas at the ball game. Leo Jimeon waits on deck, getting some warm-up swings for his second look at John Thorin, who delivers home to Crowell, waits on it, and still is just a tad too early. Had a lot of time to wait on that one, and pulled his hands in on it, and it's into foul territory. He'll stay alive, 2-2. This delivery to him is going to bounce off the green part of the turf way in front of home plate. Full count to Crowell. And Connolly wants to have a little meeting with Thorne after a couple of crazy pitches. It's not a good feeling as a pitcher when there's 2 outs and you let the inning go and continue to move on after a few mistakes, and he doesn't want to get that or let that happen here. He'll look to strike out Crowell, and he won't do that. That's another one, and Thorne is starting to lose his grip and control of his pitches. So after having 2 strikes on him for a while, Crowell pulls out his second walk of the game. His third of the season. Or excuse me, his second of the... Yes, correct. His third of the season. Second one today. Runner on first with 2 away for Leo Jimeon, who struck out in the first. And yesterday's ball game, Leo batted in the 3-hole, had 2 hits, scored 1, and drove in 3 runs on his triple. 1-0 to the French center fielder, headed to ETSU. Crowell with a decent-sized lead at first, next to first base coach Max McGuire. Delivery to Leo again off the turf, 2-0. And there is movement in both pens. We got a righty for the Roughnecks. It appears to be Wyatt Citizen. And again, another ball from Thorne, who is losing control here. 3-0 with 2 outs. Zach Henry on deck with Brady Evans in the hole for Hays. And the first strike for him in a while. Jiminian takes it all the way. Hitter's count for the center fielder. Crowell gets his lead. Thorne doesn't even look at him. Instead goes home to Jimian, who takes a Baltimore chomp to the shortstop Vite, who tosses it to Aragon for out number 3 of the third inning. After picking up 2 in the first inning, the Larks have been silent in the second and the third. It sends us to the 4th inning on Larks Network. Hays up by 2. Leading off the fourth inning for the Roughnecks will be Zane Covey, and into the game to replace Jose Velasquez is Trey Riggs. First delivery home is a nice heater, but it misses outside. 1-0. Covey in the first walked. So after 3 scoreless and hitless innings, it's a day for Jose Velasquez. 1-1 from Trey Riggs. Riggs, a 6-foot freshman from Dodge City Community College. The Conquistador is originally from Hays, Kansas, and played for head coach Frank Leo at Hays High. In his 2021 freshman season with the Conquistadors, picked up 13 appearances as Covey gets a little bloop single for the first hit of the ball game for the Roughnecks. To continue that, Riggs, 13 appearances, went 0-1 at DC3 through 18 2/3 innings, picked up 1 start, and struck out 15 guys. Last year at the Larks, he made 9 appearances and went 1-1. All 9 appearances were in relief. So Jose Velasquez can no longer qualify for a win after going just 3 innings. And expect to see that same thing tomorrow. As we saw yesterday, guys go 3 innings apiece. 3 pitchers go 3 innings. Likely what we'll see today, assuming everything goes smoothly with Trey Riggs, we'll see Cade Brown in the 7th. And then likely see another 3 pitchers tomorrow, one of them at least being Hunter Parker. (2-0), and this one above the letters, 3-0. Riggs at Hays High in his senior year went 6-2 under head coach Frank Leo with a 1.71 ERA. Was a 2019 Sports in Kansas 5A first team All-State selectee, and before that was a Sports in Kansas honorable mention All-State. He's a 2-time All-WAC Conference first team selectee, and in 2019 he was a Western Athletic Conference Player of the Year, just dominated on the mound for the Hays High Indians. Puts 2 guys on base to get his first appearance of the 2021 season going. Expect tomorrow to see Max Castellucci, Hunter Parker to get the game going on the mound. This one inside on a slider, 1-0. Riggs last year at the Larks an 8.25 ERA. It's hard to judge that as he only threw 12 innings. We had a whip of 2.08 and allowed 20 hits and 11 earned runs. Walked just 5 guys while striking out 13. 1-0, this one is fouled off of Brady Evans. Covey at second, Nash Phillips at first. Phillips 0 for 1 in the day after pumping up in the second. As Jacob Bannister at the dish, the right fielder also pumped up to Grant Lung in the second inning. This one is going to miss off the turf. Brady Evans wants to keep Phillips honest over at first. The throw's not in time. 1-2 count. This one again off the turf. Runner takes on for third, and we will not have a throw from Brady Evans. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Quickly moving along here from Hays, Kansas. Here in the top of the 4th. Runners on the corners. Riggs goes home. This one's hit hard down the third base line, but into foul territory. See if Phillips wants to take off here. Trey Riggs in the 2020 season at DCCC, made 2 appearances and went 0-1, throwing just 2 innings, striking out 1 guy. The 2-2 delivery, and he fools him with the breaking ball and gets his first strikeout of the 2021 season. So now look for Trey to hit the low part of the zone and try to get Marthaler to get a ground ball and trying to let the middle infield turn a double play. Riggs steps on the mound, looks to the dugout. Keith Harper, the pitching coach, gives him some advice. Runner takes off, and Brady Evans will throw. The throw is wild, and that was Palmer covering the second base bag. Won't be able to get to it, and a risky throw from Evans doesn't pay off, and it's a 1-2 ball game. Second run the Roughnecks have scored this series against the Larks after picking up 1 yesterday and losing by 9. Swan slider inside, 2-1. 1-1. Scoreboard was premature, 1-1. Larks scored 3 runs in the first yesterday, 4 in the second, and it's picked up 1 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, and then were silent the rest of the ball game, but still dominated the first 5 innings, scoring 10 runs. 1-1. Riggs delivers home again off the plate, 2-1. And pitching coach Keith Harper will come out of the dugout and wants to have a chat with Trey Riggs. And Brady Evans will meet him, and we'll take a quick pause and be right back on Larks Network. Is the count to Nolan Marthaler, 0 for 0 the day after being hit by a pitch in the second. Riggs misses the zone again. Hitters count to the first baseman. Marthaler out of Otero Junior College, just like his pitcher, John Thorin. And he'll walk on 5 pitches. Second walk for Trey Riggs.
Now batting the catcher at number 3, Sean Connolly.
2 on, 1 out in the fourth. Larks showing their faith in Trey Riggs. Nobody moving in the bullpen. Riggs looks in. Evans gives him a few signs. Riggs nods at the last one and delivers home a curveball that drops low. Had some nice movement on it, but just couldn't bait Sean Connolly, the catcher, to swing at it. Connolly 0 for 1 on the day after ending the top of the second inning. Connolly from Bethany College in Kansas, and he sends this one up the middle, and the bases are going to be loaded. Second hit of the day for the Roughnecks. Bases jacked, 1 away. The Larks up by just 1. Now to Nico Vite at the bottom of the order. Vite 0 for on the day, striking out against Jose Velasquez in the last inning. It was Velasquez's first and only strikeout of the day. Still a great performance from the righty. Riggs shakes off a couple signs from Evans, and Vite doesn't want any part of it. It's Covey at third base, Phillips at second, and, it is Phillips at third, Marthaler at second, and Connolly at first. 0-1. Covey scored the lone run of the game for the Roughnecks earlier off of a errant throw from Brady Evans. 0-1. Riggs delivers home slider outside. 1-1. Cam Harrison playing deep at third base, but Corral over at first base starts to creep towards the green part of the infield. Corral wants to be able to go home should the ball come to him. And Riggs gets a swing and a miss down to Vite, and is one strike away from picking up his second strikeout of the season. Vite all the way out of the batter's box, wants to recollect himself. Riggs nods at Evans. Evans sits up, a little bit offset outside, and a swing and a foul ball. We'll stay right here at 2-2. On deck is the top of the order, Vince LeConte with Brandon Aragon in the hole for the Roughnecks. Larks will bat with Zach Henry, Brady Evans, and Tyler Palmer in the bottom of the fourth, and Trey Riggs wants to send them there as quickly as possible. This one off the turf, and Brady Evans, who has shown what he can do as a backstop early, blocks that one. So big pitch coming. You can't walk home a run, but you can't allow him to get anything good to hit. Riggs takes him out on the mound, gets set, and will go from the stretch. The payoff pitch swung on, and we'll get a second one. Cam Harrison at third base continues to creep backwards as Corral comes forward. And it is going to be a walk, and the game is tied. First RBI of the series for NoCo Vite. And that is Trey Riggs' third walk. Scoring is Nash Phillips. So now Connolly at second, Vite at first, Marthaler at third. And the whole infield is going to come in and have a chat with Trey Riggs. Corral, Palmer, and Evans meet him on the mound.
Top of the batting order for the Roughnecks, the left fielder, number 26, Vince LeConte.
So back to LeConte, out of Lamar Junior College, popped up to Dylan Dreiling in the third, and grounded out to Sam Corral in the first. The first time this series that the game has been tied since the top of the first yesterday. Larks picked up 3 runs in the bottom of the first yesterday thanks to Sam Corral after his 3-run dinger. This one sent to right center field. Jimmy and Dreiling will have to move towards it, and it's going to be a sacrifice fly as Tyler Palmer cuts off the throw, and the Roughnecks have their first lead of the series. Conte picks up his first RBI of the series, and scoring is Marthaler for the first time this series. That also moved Connolly over to third base. Runners on the corners with two-way. Trey Riggs starting to get his groove going, but still has seen 3 runs put up in this inning. Nice pitch gets Aragon above it. Aragon, the 8th hitter to the plate this inning. He grounded out to Velasquez in the first and was hit by him in the third. Swung on and hit to Palmer at shortstop, who tosses it too long, and the throw will be in time for out number 3. The Roughnecks get 3 in the 4th, and they're up by 1 on Larks Network. Stay tuned for the bottom half of the inning. After a 3-run top of the 4th, leading it off for the Larks in the bottom half of the inning is Zach Henry, the left fielder. Henry grounded out to Vitae to end the first inning. Just his 2nd plate appearance, and he wears 1 on the first delivery to him. First hit by pitch from Thorne, the 4th one we've seen this game. Now to Brady Evans, who doubled in the 2nd and got the Larks fans half-price beverages for that whole inning. Got to third base but couldn't get past there after 3 straight groundouts. Look over at Henry, who has speed, and the ball is going to be off Connolly's glove. It's going to be a pass ball, and Henry's in scoring position. Henry ran the bases yesterday for Sam Corral as a courtesy runner. And he's looking to score here, 1-0 on the catcher from Murray State College. Brady Evans in his shortened 2020 freshman year at MSC batted .343 through 14 games and had 3 runs driven in. The 1-0 to him off the turf. 2 balls and no strikes. On deck is Tyler Palmer with Dylan Dreiling in the hole for your Hayes Larks. 3-2 lead for the Northern Colorado Roughnecks against the Hayes Larks. We're silent against Jose Velasquez in the first 3 innings, and they got 3 off of Trey Riggs in the top of this inning, and they get a 2-1 count on Evans as he swings at this one. Zach Henry with a big lead at second gets Thorne's attention, who goes home and misses outside. Thorne's fourth inning of work as a hitter's count to Brady Evans, who's looking to do something dangerous with this one. Evans had 4 home runs at Murray State this year and had 1 in the previous year. Hitter's count delivery to him. He's going to be aboard for the second time today, this time on a 5-pitch walk. And out of the dugouts is Randy Click going to have a talk with Thorne. Let's see if he wants to keep him in the game. And he won't. It's a day for Thorne. And we're going to see Citizen come into the game for the Roughnecks. And we'll take a quick pause and be right back on Larks Network.
Meet me down at the ballpark, where I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. All of my friends are gonna be there too. Nothing in the world I'd rather do than grab a hot dog burger and a cold beer. You'll hear me yelling out a big cheer, 'cause whether they win or whether they lose, I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. I can't wait to see a home run. I know for sure there's gonna be one. I'll call out the players by their first name. Sure am glad I made it to the game. Rain or shine, I'm gonna be there. If the stands are full, I'll bring a lawn chair. So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks!
Wyatt Citizen into the game to pitch for the Roughnecks. Cord Jackson will replace Brady Evans as a courtesy runner at first base for the Larks. Citizen delivers, and this one is into the turf outside, 1-0. So after 3 innings and 2 runs, it's a day for John Thorne. I do believe neither of those runs are earned. Walked 3 batters and hit 1 and struck out 3. And allowed 2 hits. Runners both take off, and they'll be in standing up as this one misses inside to Tyler Palmer, 2-0. Palmer back in the second inning, grounded out to Cortez. Citizen out of Otero Junior College, same place John Thorne's from. He's from Longmont, Colorado. The righty made 11 appearances, 5 of those starts for Otero, went 0-2 with a ERA above 14 through 20 in the 3rd innings pitched with 23 strikeouts. Palmer sends this one down the left field line, and it'll be just foul as Henry dodged out of the way. Bottom of the 4th, Larks down by 1 but have 2 in scoring position, trying to take back that lead, and Tyler Palmer looking to put him there. Palmer didn't drive in anybody yesterday, but he did score 2 times himself and had 1 hit and 1 walk. Swan outside, hitters counts for the shortstop out of Nebraska. Played outfield for Nebraska and is listed on the roster as an outfielder, but today is getting the start at shortstop and was recruited also as an outfielder. Full count after this one, catches the zone. Tyler Palmer was recruited for both baseball and football by several schools and was an underclass All-American in 18 and 19. The payoff pitch to him, swings at it and sends it backwards. Connolly moves towards it, and it's into the grandstand. Another payoff pitch to Tyler Palmer. And he swings and misses that one outside and is the first out of the bottom of the fourth.
The right fielder, number 33, Dylan Friley.
Palmer now 0 for 2 in the day, and we'll go to Dylan Dreiling, who grounded out to Vitae in the second. Dreiling misses the zone, or excuse me, Dreiling watches this one hit the zone, 0-1. Dreiling heading into his senior year of high school. Watches this one catch the outside part of the plate. 0-2. One away, Henry at third base for the Larks. Brady Evans at second, excuse me. It's Cord Jackson at second, running for Brady Evans. And Dylan takes his first ball. 1-2. Dylan last year had 1 home run and 9 RBIs over the course of 11 games. Had a slugging percentage of .459. A 1-2 to Dreiling outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. On deck for the Larks is the top of the order, Grant Lung, with Cam Pearson in the hole. He sends this one into the gap in left center. It's going to drop between Phillips and LeConte. Dylan's going to have a double, and Cord Jackson comes home from second. And Dylan Dreiling records his first hit of the 2021 Larks season and puts the Larks back in the game and in the lead. He had 9 RBIs last year. He picks up 2 on 1 swing of the bat. Scoring for the first time this season is both Brady Evans and Zach Henry. Excuse me, that's Cord Jackson running for Brady Evans. And yesterday's ball game, Cord did come around to score 1 time. Neither of those runs will count against Citizen on the ERA. They will both count to Thorne. So now to Grant Lung, who's 0 for 2 in the day with a ground out, and he also reached on an error in the first and came around to score. 1-0 to Grant Lung. Lung is a captain for the University of Sioux Falls Cougars and has started every game for USF in the past 3 years. Led the team, tied for the team lead in runs in 2020 with 13 in that shortened COVID season. 2-0 to Lung. This one's going to miss inside at the feet of Grant Long. Likely see Grant taking all the way here, and he is. And this one does catch the inside corner of the zone. Hitters count for the second baseman batting lead off. Grant started the season off really hot last year, cooled down for a little bit, and then picked it up right as the season came to an end and was on a roll heading into the NBC. Unfortunately, didn't get a play in the NBC. Ends up pop flying to shallow center field. Phillips thinks Vitae is going to call it off, and then Vitae pulls away from it, thinking Phillips has it, and it's going to be the second time today that Grant Long reaches, and it will be ruled a hit. So first hit of the day for Grant Long, and is number 3 on the season. So Dylan Drowling at second base, Grant Long at first base, and Cam Pearson to the dish, leading by 1. Larks scored 2 in the first, have matched that in the fourth, and still have 2 outs to work with. First delivery to Cam over the plate, but at his chin, 1-0. On deck for Hayes is Wyatt Davis with Leo Jimian in the hole. This one again above the letters over the plate, 2-0. Cam played in all 32 games last year and has started both of the games so far this season of the team in hits and total bases, and sends one hard at Aragon. Can't get a grip at it. Both runners were running, and Dylan Drowling's going to score from second. And on the throw home, Cam Pearson goes to second. That's the second time Pearson's had heads-up base running, and Marthaler threw his hands up in frustration and confusion with his team as another runner just got put into scoring position thanks to that throw. But Grant Long goes from first to third, and Dylan Drowling comes around to score. Cam Pearson picks up his second RBI of the game, even though he's driven in 3 runs. And Dylan Drowling scores his first run of the season. It is five to 3. And Davis sends this one into foul territory. So that is not recorded as a hit for Grant Long. Second time he's reached on an error. He did change the ruling on that. So now to Wyatt Davis with 2 in scoring position again. Davis on the day 0 for 2 with a flyout and a strikeout. 1-0 to Davis. Davis pitched the first 3 innings of last night's ball game. Struck out 5 and allowed 0 hits, and today he's getting the start at the DH spot. Sends this one into the gap in left center field. It drops in front of LeConte. Long scores. Cam Pearson's going to be sent home, and the throw is just not going to get to a home plate. And the crowd is feeling it as the Larks are starting to come to life here in the 4th inning. So it's a single for Wyatt Davis, his first hit of the season after having 36 of those last year, and picks up his first 2 RBIs this year after having 15 last year. Larks now lead 7-3. Scoring on that was Grant Long for the second time today, and Cam Pearson also came around to score for the second time today. Grant scored once in yesterday's ball game, and Pearson scored twice yesterday against the Roughnecks. Larks have scored 5 this inning, and Crow, not a great time swing on that one. Puts him down 0-2 in the count. One away, Davis at first. Crown the day 0 for 0 with 2 walks. This one into the left-hander's batter's box, sliding to it is Connolly. So it's been a long inning of rest for Trey Riggs. He's going to be needing to get ready to go in the next 2 outs. 1-2 to Crowell, the first baseman. This one inside at his eyes. And the throw is over the head of Citizen. No movement in either pin, but there is a couple guys headed to the pin for the Larks. Crowell gets under this one, sends it to center field. Phillips doesn't have to move much to make the catch, and Divis heads back to first with 2 outs on the scoreboard.
The center fielder, Leo Chipia.
So now to Leo Jimion, 0 for 2 in the day with a ground out and a strikeout. Slider, nice pitch, drops into the zone and called strike 1 on Jimion. 9th hitter the Larks have brought to the plate this inning. This one into the left-hander's batter's box. 1-1. Zach Henry's on deck. He started the sitting out, getting hit by the first pitch he saw, and came around to score. Jimion grounds this one to the third base coach and is down 1-2. Do it for the Roughnecks is Cortez, Govey, and Phillips. They brought 8 hitters to the plate in the top of this inning. It's been a long inning. They scored 3. The Larks matched it and then add another 2 on top of that. Larks have 5 hits tonight, 2 of those in this inning. And Leo's going to be down on strikes. And that'll end the bottom of the 4th inning, but the Larks regain the lead. They're up by 4 as we move to the 5th on Larks Network.
It's not a game, it's a rage thing.
Top of the 5th we go. Trey Riggs back to the mound for his 2nd inning of work. First guy he faces is AJ Cortez. 0 for on the day with a hit by pitch and a flyout. Now 1-1. Covey on deck with Nash Phillips in the hole, due up for the Roughnecks. Foul ball to the Larks dugout, 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Riggs goes from the windup. Fastball off the inside part of the bat. We'll stay right here for pitch number 4 at 0-2. The 0-2 delivery. His second one is going to be swung on, and Cortez going to try and say he foul tipped it. But the plate umpire not having any of it. It's the first strikeout of the 5th inning and the first out for Trey Riggs. Trey now has 2 strikeouts on the day through 1 1/3. Riggs looks in as Covey comes to dish. 1 for 1 on the day with a single, a walk, and a run scored. 1-0. It's a long 4th inning that brought us here. Scoreboard reads a 2-0 count at Larks Park. Riggs will deliver this one, a slider into the zone for a called strike 1. Covey's second look at Trey Riggs, just his 2nd inning of work. This one misses the zone, and that was actually ball 4. Runner on first with 1 away.
The center fielder, number 2, Nash Phillips.
It's now to Nash Phillips, 0 for the day with a walk and a run scored. 1 of 3 runs in that 4th inning. Riggs takes a look over at first base, goes home. Evans loses it for second, but staying at first is Covey. Trey made 12 appearances in relief for the Conquistadors this last season, and picked up 1 start this year. Is picking up his first appearance in relief for the Larks. Didn't start any games last year, but made 9 appearances in relief, allowing 20 hits. In 2019, he appeared in 1 game against the Boulder Collegians for the Larks in late July. 2-0 becomes 2-1 as this one slides across the outside part of the plate. This one misses just below the knees. Trey Riggs wanted that one, and so did the crowd. 3-1 to Nash Phillips, the center fielder. Phillips out of Northwestern Oklahoma State University. Listed as a middle infielder, but getting the start in center field tonight. Back-to-back walks for Trey Riggs. His 5th walk of the day through 1 1/3. And Evans is going to talk to him. Couple guys out in the pen for the Larks. Nobody really moving. But it does look like Cade Brown's about to start getting ready to go. Runners on first and second with only 1 away. This one popped back and into the grandstand and over the press box. 0-1 to Jacob Bannister on the day, 0 for 2 with a pop-up to Grant Long and a strikeout against Trey Riggs. Bannister, the starting right fielder out of the University of Northern Colorado, watches a slider miss inside. 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 away. Riggs delivers home. This one is grounded to the left side, but into foul territory by a couple feet. 1-2 is the count. Riggs takes a look at second base, goes home and misses low again. Evans continuing to not let anything get past him. 2-2. It is Covey at second base, Phillips at first base for the Roughnecks, and Trey Riggs needs to do something to get on track here. Had some struggles last year, but seemed to always bounce back from it after a little bit of time, and now has a full count. He's walked 2 straight guys and can't walk 3 straight here. Walked in a run in the last inning. Riggs goes home from the stretch, is hit hard into left field, and Henry dives forward. He's not going to be able to get to it, and Covey is going to score from second, and rounding third, heading home is Phillips. It's going to be a 2 RBI double for Jacob Bannister, his first RBIs of the series. Scoring for the second time each is Covey and Phillips. And the Larks lead is cut in half with only 1 away and a runner in scoring position here in the top of the 5th. Larks won pretty easily yesterday, but the pitching has not been the same, and Cade Brown is officially warming up in the bullpen. This one swung on and hit to the shortstop. Palmer fields it and throws to Corral. Tyler Palmer to Sam Corral, a 6-3 ground out for out number 2, but the runner does advance to third base. Smart play from Tyler just to throw across the diamond. And now Nolan Marthaler is 0 for the day after being hit by a pitch and walked. Bannister is at third base. Do it for the Larks in the bottom of the 5th will be Zach Henry, Brady Evans, and Tyler Palmer. Zach Henry just wasn't going to get to that ball off the bat of Bannister in time, and if he had some crazy wheels. He is really fast and showed that off, but I'm not sure anybody was going to get to that one. But he gave his best effort and just couldn't get there. 1-1 to Sean Connolly, the catcher, who was 1 for 2 on the day with a single and a run scored. Two and 1. As Cade Brown continues to warm up, Trey Riggs is trying to end this inning here. 5 runs have scored on him through 1 2/3. This one off the glove of Brady Evans, just looks for it and finds it, and the runner stays at third. Hitters count for Sean Connolly. See how long the Larks want to take Trey Riggs and see if he can pull out of this slump. And he throws this one right down the middle, and Connolly doesn't bite. Larks creeping on the infield, and the payoff pitch is sent out of play. We'll get a second one. Payoff pitch number 2 is sent to Cam Harrison, fields it on a couple bounces, and throws to Sam Corral, who records the out. And that sends us to the bottom of the 5th. Roughnecks get 2, but they're creeping back, and they're only down by 2. Larks still lead as we go to the bottom half of the 5th. Bottom of the 5th we go. Zach Henry's going to lead it off. And after 2 runs at the top of the 5th, Larks up by just 2. After a dominant pitching performance from Jackson Blue, Luke Beek, and Wyatt Davis yesterday, pitching just hasn't been there in the 4th and the 5th. As we talked earlier, Davis, 3 great innings, no hits allowed, 5 strikeouts. Jackson Blue came in and allowed no hits, 3 strikeouts, and then Luke Beek came in, struck out 4 guys, and the last 3 innings, Larks allowed just 2 hits all game, both of those in the 9th inning. 0-1 to Zach Henry, and he sends it to left field, and one left fielder pops up to the other. Henry was hit by a pitch in the 4th and came around to score, but doesn't have the same luck here. So a quick 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. Brady Evans comes to the dish, and he is 1 for 1 today with a double, a run driven in. Excuse me. Yes, 1 run driven in and 1 walk. He did come around to score in the last inning. 1-0 to Evans, and Cade Brown is officially in from the bullpen. It might be a day for Trey Riggs. It's Tyler Palmer on deck with Dylan Dreiling in the hole, and Brady Evans is ahead of an off-speed delivery. One out, 1-1 count with nobody on in the bottom of the 5th. And Citizen takes his time in his 2nd inning of work. Came in relief of John Thorne in the last inning and allowed 2 runs. 2-1 count to Brady Evans. Two balls and 1 strike. Citizen delivers this one into left-hander's batter's box. Hitter's count now for Brady Evans, the catcher. Brady Evans, one of 9 JUCO players on the roster. The lone player to call Oklahoma home, and one of 2 players that goes to college in Oklahoma. And he has a 5-pitch walk, his 2nd walk in the last 2 innings. So now to Tyler Palmer, the shortstop, and we'll have a courtesy runner, Cord Jackson, for Brady Evans. Brady Evans, 3 plate appearances in his Larks debut, and has reached each time.
Cord Jackson, the courtesy runner at first base.
So we'll see what Tyler Palmer can do here, and we'll see if Cord Jackson wants to run. He has speed, and he has a big lead at first base. The 0-1 to Tyler Palmer above the letters, 1-0. Larks have 5 hits. 3 of those were in the last inning. The 1-0 to Tyler Palmer misses just low, 2-0. Tyler Palmer picked up 74 hits in high school, batting .360 with 31 runs driven in and 4 home runs. .202 to him. Cord Jackson takes off, and the throw is going to be far too late. The 2 Nebraska guys on the field, and both were one working a count, 1 stealing bases. The first stolen base of the season for Cord Jackson, and he's in scoring position. Tyler Palmer for the Larks, when he was in high school, set the school record with 38 stolen bases. The 3-0 to him, he's taken all the way, called strike. Palmer on the day 0 for 2 with a ground out to Cortez and a strikeout against Citizen. Hitter's count for the Cornhusker. And Palmer sends it backwards and out of play. Full counts. Tyler scored 2 times yesterday, still looking for his first RBI. And with Core Jackson's speed at second base, one swing of the bat could do it. And he sends his delivery into shallow center field. Aragon and Phillips move towards it, and it's going to drop. Phillips dives for it. It's going to be the first hit of the day for Tyler Palmer, and there's runners on the corners, both Cornhuskers with one away. So now to Dylan Dreiling. 1 for 2 on the day with a double, a run scored, and 2 runs driven in. Core Jackson and Tyler Palmer take their leads at third and first respectfully with only one away. Dylan looks to pick up RBI number 3 right here. Tyler Palmer takes off on first pitch. The throw was in time, and Tyler Palmer's got to be picked off for the first time since he probably can't remember. He's got crazy speed, but that time it's just not the greatest jump, and they got him. So then there's 2 away, and it's an 0-1 count. Tyler stole 2 bases yesterday pretty easily. Larks were trying to avoid a double play and in return get 1 out. This one, close call. Dylan Dreiling and the fans and I also thought it was inside, but home plate umpire calls him for it. No ball. The 0-2 delivery to Dreiling. He swings on in, pulls over to the right side, foul. We'll stay 0-2. Excuse me, 1-2. This is in his second inning work, looks in and delivers home. Outside on an off speed, 2-2. Cade Brown getting some final words of advice from pitching coach Keith Harper before he looks to take over for Trey Riggs in the 6th. Two outs, 1 on, and delivered to Dreiling. He puts it between Aragon and Marthaler, and he picks up his 3rd RBI of the day. And scoring for the 2nd time today is Core Jackson running for Brady Evans. And the Larks extend their lead by 1 run, and it's now 3 runs. So Dylan Dreiling, after not playing yesterday and being a late addition to the roster, has 3 RBIs and 1 run scored himself. First delivery to Grant Lung, called a ball. Grant on the day, 0 for 3, reaching on 2 errors, scoring once. Dreiling at first. Gets a lead and gets a called strike on Grant Lung. Dylan Dreiling takes off. No throw needed as it's off the turf and off the chest protector of Connolly, and Dylan Dreiling's in scoring position while Grant Lung has a 2-1 count. First stolen base of the season for Dylan Dreiling. A 2-1 to Grant Lung. Inside hitters count for the Cougar. Last year for Dylan Dreiling, had 1 stolen base on 1 attempt. it's going to be free base for Grant Lung. 2 on, 2 out. Third time Grant Lung will be aboard. And Citizen waits. Randy Click out of the dugout. And just some words of advice. Doesn't look like he's going to take the game ball from him. There is movement in the pen for the Roughnecks. And he's going to keep talking to him, and he comes back to the dugout, and we will see Citizen stay in the game and face Cam Pearson, a dangerous hitter who's 2 for 3 on the day with a single, a triple, a strikeout, 2 runs driven in, and 2 runs scored. Drowning at second, Lung at first, Pearson in the batter's box. Cam having a great start of the season. Had a great season last year at the Larks and watches this one missed low 1-0. Due up for the Roughnecks will be Vitae, Lacante, and Aragon. Fastball, low and outside, 2-0. Larks sporting their vests for the first time this season. White vest, white pants, red lettering with a blue trim, red sleeves. Just 2-0. Here comes a 2-1 count. Is 3-1 to Cam Pearson. Cam in his career at Cochise has driven in 30 runs and scored 22 times. And he walks back-to-back free bases for the Larks, and the bases are jacked with 2 away. And Wyatt Divis is a dangerous hitter. And it looks like they're going to leave Citizen out there to deal with them. Divis on the day, 1 for 3 with a double and 2 runs driven in. Pearson at first base, Lung at second, and Dylan Drowling at third base. One swing of the bat could change this game drastically. Huge opportunity for Citizen on the mound. Wyatt Citizen delivers home to Wyatt Divis and gets a call and strike 1. Larks have brought 15 hitters to the plate in the last 2 innings, or 1 2/3. 0-1 pitch misses inside on a slider. 1 ball and 1 strike. It's Sam Crowell on deck with Leo Jimion in the hole. Grant Lung with a huge lead at second base as nobody's there to keep him on, but Cam Pearson and Dylan Drowling have relatively small leads. Second straight slider. This one misses again inside 2-1, and time called again as Connolly wants to keep talking with Citizen. Davis won't even step out of the batter's box. He's locked in and ready to go. Two-one delivery to Divis. Inside, hitters count for a very dangerous hitter. Divis in his career with the Mavericks at UTA has scored 10 times and driven in 5. In his career at Hutchinson JUCO, drove in 120 RBIs and scored 109. And he's going to walk on 5 pitches if that one didn't even catch him. So Wyatt Divis picks up his 3rd RBI of the day, and that is 3 straight free base runners for the Larks. And it's going to be a day for Wyatt Citizen, and the Larks extend their lead by 1. They're up 9-5. Scoring is Dylan Dreiling for the 2nd time today. So Dylan has now driven in 3 and scored twice. It's Grant Long at 3rd, Cam Pearson at 2nd, and Wyatt Divis at 1st, and we'll get a new pitcher here in the bottom of the 5th. Bottom of the 5th. There's bases loaded with 2 away. And Sam Crowell to the dish. Crowell on the day 0 for 1 with 2 walks. Grant Long at 3rd. Cam Pearson at 2nd. Wyatt Divis at 1st. Larks looking to break this game open even more. Crowell's a dangerous bat. Drove in 4 runs yesterday. Hit a home run and turns on this one early and sends it into foul territory. Zach Henry got this inning started with a flyout. Brady Evans walked. Tyler Palmer walked. Dylan Dreiling singled and brought home Brady Evans, who was actually being Cord Jackson, who was running for him. And then Tyler Palmer was thrown out. Grant Long walked. Cam Pearson walked. And then Wyatt Divis has now walked. 0-1 delivery to Sam Crowell. Misses the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike. Leo Jimmy on deck. Zach Henry in the hole. This is the 7th hitter the Larks have brought to the plate. The 8th hitter the Larks have brought to the plate this inning. The 17th in the past 2. And this one bounces off Connolly, and Grant Long is going to score easily at home. And each runner advances 90 feet. So Larks now double the score of the Roughnecks. Divis at 2nd. Pearson at 3rd. And a 2-1 count to Sam Crowell. This inning just keeps going. And it's just not looking good. Pitching now is Alex Cito out of Bethany College in the NAIA in Kansas. This one misses again, 3-1 to a dangerous first baseman. Larks scored 2 in the first, silent in the second and third, 5 in the last, and 3 so far here, and that is 4 straight walks for the Larks and 7 straight base runners. So bases loaded again for Leo Jimion. Leo didn't showcase a ton of power in his first year at Clarendon. Didn't showcase a ton with the Larks in 2020, but really showcased it this last year. His first full season in 2021. Picked up 7 home runs, driving in 49 runs, and had a slugging percentage of .640. It's easy to see why Eastern Tennessee State, a D1 school, came to pick him up. 1-0 becomes 1-1 after the called strike over the outside bottom corner of the zone. 2 UTA guys on first and second for the Larks, with Pearson at third. Off speed again off of Connolly. This one will keep the runners where they are, 2-1. So Cade Brown has had a lot of time to sit and think about his first appearance with the Larks after warming up in the last inning and then taking some time off, talking to Keith Harper, and now is looking ready to go. Hard cut from Leo Jimion, who was looking to bring home 4 runs with 1 swing, and he can't do it. Larks have 7 hits versus the Roughnecks 3. Each team has 2 errors. He sends this one over the head of Cito, and the ball will be caught by Vite, who just barely tags first base before Growl can get there. But the Larks do pick up 3 here in the bottom of the 5th, and they lead by 5 against the Northern Colorado Roughnecks. So we head to the 6th inning on Larks Network. We won't see Cade Brown like we thought we would, and instead it'll be Trey Riggs as Cade Brown starts to loosen back up again in the bullpen. Trey Riggs has had a lot of time between his first and second appearance, or first and second innings of work, and a big break between second and third innings. So Larks have brought 9 guys to the plate in the last 2 innings and have 8 runs to show for it. They lead 10-5, 1-0. Roughnecks got 3 off of Riggs in the 4th and 2 against him in the 5th after Jose Velasquez went 3 innings without allowing a hit. 2-0. Riggs was struggling to hit the zone earlier and has missed on the first 2 pitches he's thrown here in the 6th. Foul ball off the bat of Nico Vite, who's 0 for 1 on the day with a walk, a run driven in off of that walk, and a strikeout. 2-1 is the count. This delivery to Vitae over the grandstand. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Due up after Vitae is LeConte and Brandon Aragon. Riggs looking for his first strikeout of this inning. Can't get it right there. 3-2. He struck out 1 in the 4th and 1 in the 5th, and has walked 5 batters over that time frame. To get another payoff pitch has worked a lot of full counts. And he will pick up his 3rd strikeout of the season. Got Vitae looking, and it was right down the middle after the slider fooled him for a little bit.
It's the top of the Roughnecks batting order, the left fielder, number 26, Vince LeConte.
So back to the original leadoff hitter, Vince LeConte, 0 for 2 on the day, grounding out to Sam Crowell in the 1st, popping up to Dylan Dreiling in the 3rd, and then had a sacrifice fly RBI in the 4th inning. Sends this one into right center field. It's going to drop in front of Dylan Dreiling in front of the 349 sign. And it's a base hit, the 4th hit of the game for the Roughnecks, the 1st of the day for LeConte.
Now batting the second baseman, number 1, Brandon Aragon.
Now to Brandon Aragon, who grounded out to Velasquez in the 1st, was hit by Velasquez in the 3rd inning, and then grounded out to in the 4th. Grounded between the gap of Lung and Crown. Dylan Dreiling gets to it in right field. Back-to-back base hits on back-to-back pitches for the Roughnecks. Aragon at 1st, LeConte at 2nd.
The third baseman, number 13, A.J. Cortez.
A.J. Cortez, the 3rd baseman, was hit by a pitch in the 1st, flew out in the 3rd, and then struck out in the 5th. And is coming up again for his 4th plate appearance in the 6th. Cortez out of Colby Community College. Riggs delivers this one behind his back, almost hits the number 13 on his jersey, and it's 1-0. It's been a long game. Yesterday was a really quick affair as the pitchers just mauled through the order. But today, it's been a slow 4th and 5th inning. Riggs looks at LeConte and gets a foul ball off of Cortez. On deck is Zane Kobe with Nash Phillips in the hole for the Roughnecks. Larks still with the original defensive alignment. Henry, Jimian, and Dreiling in the outfield. Pearson, Palmer, Long, and Crowell in the infield with Brady Evans behind the dish. This is about the time yesterday where Brock Loomis came in to catch for Sam Crowell. 1-1, and Trey Riggs hits a batter. The 4th hit batter the Roughnecks have seen today. And the bases are loaded with 1 away. And out of the dugout is pitching coach Keith Harper as Cade Evans continues to warm up in the bullpen. And we'll take a quick pause as the mound visit happens.
friends are gonna be there too. Nothing in the world I'd rather do than grab a hot dog burger and a cold beer. You'll hear me yelling out a big cheer, 'cause whether they win or whether they lose, I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. I can't wait to see a home run. I know for sure there's gonna be one. I'll call out the players by their first name. Sure am glad I made it to the game. Rain or shine, I'm gonna be there. If the stands are full, I'll bring a lawn chair. So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks!
After 2 1/3, it's a day for Trey Riggs. He's replaced by the 6'4" redshirt sophomore out of Oklahoma, Cade Brown. And the first pitch from Cade is a called strike to Zane Covey. Brown inherits the bases loaded in the top of the 6th with 1 away. Larks still up by 5. And a nice fastball shows off why he was a 9.5 grade receiving from perfect game. Has one of the best the Larks have ever had. Committed to San Diego out of high school, coming out of Cardiff, California, and gets a 3-pitch strikeout. Has some absolute heat on his fastball, and gets the second out of the inning. Spent 1 year at San Diego, went 2-1 through 19 appearances, and started 3 games. Went to OU in 2020, but was not listed on the roster, and then in 2021, this year, he redshirted. In Summer League in 2019, made 3 appearances for the Danville Dans and struck out 1 guy through 3 1/3. And the first delivery to Nash Phillips in the zone and swung on and foul tipped. 2 away, bases jacked here in the top of the 6th. In the 2018 Summer League for the Victoria Harbor Cats, Cade made 11 appearances and struck out 41 guys with the ERA of 4.01. Gets another foul ball. Excuse me, that was ruled as a ball, 1-1. Cade will go from the stretch. Base is jacked. This delivery to him. A curveball drops in the zone and gets a loud applause from the crowd as they were really impressed with the movement on that pitch. He's faced 2 batters, thrown 6 pitches, 5 of those being strikes. And gets back-to-back strikeouts and slams the door shut and leaves the bases loaded and gets a loud applause from the crowd. And the Roughnecks have their first scoreless inning since the 3rd. And we go to the latter half of the 6th. Larks still up by 5 on Larks Network. Bottom of the 6th, leading off is Zach Henry for the Larks. Zach on the day, 0 for 2, a hit by pitch, a fly out and a ground out, along with a run score. Sends one to third base. It's going to be a tough play for Gertz that he's just going to pick up and eat. It's the 8th hit of the ball game for the Larks.
Tonight's beverage batter, sponsored by 8th Street Liquor.
And the first hit of the night and of the season for Zach Henry. It's down to Brady Evans, who's reached 3 times off of a double and 2 walks. Cord Jackson has come in and run for him twice and scored twice. Brady Evans also drove in a run. Alex Cito looks over his shoulder at Zach Henry, who has speed and delivers a off speed into the zone. 0-1. On deck for Hayes is Tyler Palmer, followed by Dylan Dreiling in the hole. And Henry takes off, and it's a great pitch to run on. It was a slow off speed, and he's in with no worries. Second stolen base of the day for Zach Henry. And he's in scoring position. 1-1 is the count as that one missed high. Evans takes this one opposite field, and it drops in a beautiful placement. He's going to round first. He's going to get a triple out of this, and scoring easily is Zach Henry. So Brady Evans, you don't see much speed out of catchers normally, but he had an easy double earlier off what should have been a single, and gets a beautiful triple right there to pick up a second RBI on the day. And as he's the beverage batter, Larks fans are making their way down to the concession and Larks Nest to get their half-price beverages, thanks to Brady Evans. It's been a great atmosphere at Larks Park. It was a beautiful first experience for a lot of the Larks players yesterday, having somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 fans at the stadium, followed by a 15-minute fireworks show after the game. And the crowd was going nuts the whole game, loud, showing support for their team, who won by 9 runs, and they're up by 5. Excuse me, they're up by 6 right now. It's Tyler Palmer at the plate with Brady Evans at third. Zach Henry scored for the second time today. 3-0 now to number 5. Number 5 is a storied number here with the Larks. Obviously, one of the greatest baseball players of all time, and Albert Pujols swore number 5 in the MLB, and he played for the Larks way back 2 decades ago. 3-1. And it's going to be a 5-pitch walk for Tyler Palmer. Second straight time he'll be aboard in 2 straight. Yes, in 2 straight innings. So 3 straight base runners for the Larks, a single, a triple, and now a walk. Tyler Palmer's second walk of the season. Now we go to the bottom of the order, Dylan Dreiling, who's driven in 3 runs and scored twice himself. Been a huge factor for the Larks today. First delivery to him misses above the letters. 1-0. Alex Cito out of Bethany College, still on the mound for his second inning of work. Tyler Palmer has speed at first base, stole 2 bases yesterday, and was picked off in the last inning. We'll expect to see him run at some point in this AB. 2-0. He's looking over at third base for signs from head coach Frank Leo. No signs given He has a big lead, is jumping around over at first, trying to get the attention of Cito. And Dylan Dreiling drives one up the middle. Aragon dives for it, can't get to it. Tyler Palmer Ryan second, but will stay there. And the Larks, off of a bad throw, Tyler Palmer advances to third. Dylan Dreiling advances to second. Dreiling in his 2021 Larks debut has 4 RBIs. And Brady Evans scores and for the third time today. Palmer at third, Dreiling at second. Dreiling now has a triple and 2 singles and is 3 for 4. Larks up 12-5 in the bottom of the 6th. And 2 in scoring position for Grant Lung. Run rule is in effect, so if the Larks get 3 more runs in this inning, it will end it. They've scored 10 runs in the past 3 innings on 6 outs. 2-0 to Grant Lung, and wow, feeling the energy here. Lung in the left-hander's batter's box. Takes this one inside and high, 3-0. Lung on the day has reached base 3 times, walked in his last at-bat, scored once in the first, and scored in the 5th. Larks brought 9 guys to the plate in the 4th and as well in the 5th. And Grant Lung is going to walk for the 2nd straight inning. Seen a lot of hit by pitches and a lot of walks today. And out of the dugouts is Joe Kraus for the Roughnecks. Otherwise, we'd see Cam Pearson, but we'll take a quick pause for the mound visit. Bottom of the 6th, base is loaded for Cam Pearson, who already has 2 RBIs on the day. And on this, and Cam Pearson sends this one deep to left field. Could it be a grand slam? No. LeConte catches on the warning track. Larks fans had it. It would have been a walk-off, but instead it's just a loud sacrifice fly. Tyler Palmer scores easily, and Cam Pearson has a big smile as the Larks put their lead now to 13-5. Al was cranked between the 322 and 349 sign. Would have been a walk-off had it gone just 5 feet further. And instead, Tyler Palmer scores his 3rd run of the season first today. Grant Lung stays at first, and Dylan Dreiling stays at second. Pearson is now 2 for 3 on the day with a walk, a triple, a single, a sacrifice fly, and a strikeouts. For Cam, that is RBI number 5 this year already through 2 games. 0-1 with 1 away. This delivery to Wyatt Divis misses the zone, 1-1. Cito looks in, gets a sign from Connolly, goes home. Divis sends it off the end of his bat into the Larks fan pavilion. 1-2. this is going to hit off the number 16 on Davis's jersey. And he's aboard for the third straight inning. Larks are stuffing up the stat sheet. This is going to be the 26th hitter the Larks have brought to the plate in the last 7 outs. And the bases are loaded for Sam Crowell, who had a 3-run shot yesterday and an RBI double. Davis at first, Long at second, Dreiling at third. Crowell on the day, 0 for 1 with a flyout and 3 walks. Crowell takes this one outside, 1-0. The lone out of the inning came off that Pearson sacrifice fly. Henry started out with a single. Evans followed up with a triple, driving in Henry. Palmer then walked. Dylan Dreiling drove in. Evans with a single put Palmer at second base. Lung walked, and then Pearson a sacrifice fly to bring in Tyler Palmer, and then Davis just got hit by that pitch to load the bases. And Crowell takes 1-1 looking and makes it 1-2. And he has a pitch to hit right there, waits on it, and just can't quite make contact. And it's out number 2 loud. So the Larks bring 9 hitters to the plate for the third straight inning. And it's Leo Jeminian who ended the 4th and 5th on a ground out and a strikeout. And Leo Jemian swings and misses at that one, 0-1 to the center fielder. Leo played in all 32 games last year and has started both games so far in center field this year. This one doesn't quite drop into the zone in time for Cito, 1-1. With long speed at second base, anything to the outfield from Jimian would end the game. Off of Connolly's chest protector, 2-1. Pressure's getting to Cito here. Do have a righty up and moving in the bullpen for the Roughnecks. And this one is going to be a ground out to end the 6th inning. Larks pick up 3 runs, have scored 11 over the past 3 innings, and they lead 13-5 on Larks Network. top of the 7th we go here from Larks Network. Cade Brown back to the mound after picking up 2 strikeouts on 7 pitches to end the 6th inning in relief of Trey Riggs. Leading it off will be Jacob Bannister, the right fielder, who is 1 for 3 on the day with a double, a strikeout, and a pop-out. The 0-1 to Bannister. Slider misses outside and low. 1 ball and 1 strike here to get the 7th inning going. Cade Brown plays for the Oklahoma Sooners out of the Big 12 and is looking to make his first appearance on the mound for them in the 2022 season. 1-2 is the count to Jacob Bannister, the right fielder. Bannister out of the University of Northern Colorado. And Brown is going to punch him out looking. He's faced 3 batters and struck out 3, 2 swinging, and this is the first one looking. Brown is in a groove, showing off why he gets to play in the Big 12. So now to Nolan Marthaler, who is 0 for on the day with a walk, a hit by pitch, and a ground out with a run scored. Slider for Brown over the outside part of the plate. He calls strike. He's got some velocity and got some movement on his pitches. Fastball just outside, 1-1. Brown didn't pitch in yesterday's ball game, but he did hit, and he went 0 for 4, but did score a run. 2-1 to Nolan Marthaler. The first baseman from Otero Junior College. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. Due for the Larks in the bottom of the 7th will be Zach Henry for the 4th straight inning, followed by Brady Evans and Tyler Palmer. And 5 batters, 5 strikeouts, 4 batters, 4 strikeouts, 3 swinging, 1 looking for Cade Brown. Larks up by 8 runs. They have 5 more hits than the Roughnecks. And Sean Connolly, the catcher, makes his way to the dish. 1 for 3 on the day with a single and a run scored. And he is in front of this pitch. 0-1 as he tips into the glove of Evans. Jose Velasquez started this game, went 3 innings hitless. Trey Riggs came in for 2 1/3. And now Cade Brown has thrown 1 1/3. Another swing and a miss. Guys just not hitting off of him. No balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases empty in the top of the 7th. And the 0-2 delivery. And he's going to be down on strikes. And the Larks are going to end up winning this game. They're calling it in the 7th, it looked like. There was talk that they were going to end the game in the 7th. Larks are doing high 5 lines, but the Roughnecks are taking the field. We'll see what's going on here. And it looks like the Roughnecks are going to take the field. It looks like the Larks will hit for the bottom of the 7th, and then the game will end. But we'll take a quick pause for the half inning. Well, now umpires giving different signs.
Game, the final score.
And they will rule it officially. The Larks are now 2-0 on the season. Quite a way to end it. They do end up winning 13-5 in 6.5 innings.
On the season, wrap up the series tomorrow night with a 7 o'clock start. Hang on for just a moment more. If you have raffle tickets, we're going to read 2 numbers for the 2 $100 cash prizes.
So the win will be attributed to Trey Riggs after coming in relief of Jose Velasquez. His first win of the season after going last year for the full season with the Larks and going 1-1. He's officially 1-0 on his young season. Larks win it 13-5. They scored 2 in the first, were silent until the 4th inning, then picked up 5, 3, and 3 in the 4th, 5th, and 6th, and win it pretty easily. And Roughnecks did take the lead back in the 4th inning, 3-2, but after that, the Larks cruised here. They won 10-1 yesterday, with Jackson Blue being the winning pitcher, and they're off to a 2-0 start. Roughnecks fall to 1-3 on their young season. Well, this is just game 2 of a 3-game series against the Roughnecks, but the Larks officially win the series, and we'll be back here tomorrow night at 7 o'clock for the first pitch between the Larks and the Roughnecks. This has been Carson Ackerman on the call. You've been tuned into Larks Network. Thank you for tuning in as the Larks win 13-5. We'll see you tomorrow night. First pitch at 7 o'clock from Larks Park.
Meet me down at the ballpark, where I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. All of my friends are gonna be there too. Nothing in the world I'd rather do than grab a hot dog burger and a cold beer. You'll hear me yelling out a big cheer, 'cause whether they win or whether they lose, I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. I can't wait to see a home run. I know for sure there's gonna be one. I'll call out the players by their first name. Sure am glad I made it to the game. Rain or shine, I'm gonna be there. If the stands are full, I'll bring a lawn chair. So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks!